officials from the Public Works Department confirming that 28 affected households have now registered to be relocated from the flood disaster area around Jagersfontein. The Tumaole district municipalities earmarked a piece of land several kilometers away from the mine. It comes amid mixed reactions from affected residents to news that that mine operating in the area will compensate affected families. Our reporter Mohlaoli joins us live now from Mangung. Tumaole, good afternoon to you. I imagine people there have lost so much, they just want to move away from the area.
Very good afternoon, Stephen. So what is happening is that at this particular moment, of course, residents are also being called upon to continue with that registration process in terms of making sure that the Department of Public Works gets a consolidated list. Now that process will be going on today as well as throughout the weekend, and of course then the department will then close the list off, and those residents that have decided to ask to be relocated will then be moved to another location, which is not far from ground zero in Jagersfontein. And there were some mixed reactions about that, because some residents have opted to go and live with residents that are relatives to them, and some have taken up the option of course, temporary shelters. What government is saying is that the offer for residents to be compensated will be dependent on them producing paperwork as well as other documentation to ensure that the value of their assets is what they claim to be. Now, when one looks at the infrastructure that is being set out where the residents are going to be moved to, what the Department of the department is saying in terms of government representatives is that that particular piece of land is being developed now, and they are looking to ensure that the infrastructure there is up to scratch. What other residents are saying is that they are going to take up the offer, but others are saying that they simply want to be compensated fairly, because they feel that it's going to be a blanket approach, which means some residents have been investing in their properties and they feel that the property value is now way up or way beyond what is going to be put on the table. So these are some of the negotiating points. But from the mine side, and as far as the provincial government is concerned, they are saying that the mine has agreed to foot the bill in terms of the relocation process. What the municipality is doing now is that it is running a verification process. So while we have those families or those residents that have signed up to be relocated, what the department is saying is that the figure will grow exponentially, they believe, because of the 20 plus people that have put their name down to be relocated willingly, they represent households of about 5 or 6 people. So one name can represent 4 or 5 others. So that figure will also be growing exponentially in that particular regard. So the verification process is underway now, and there will be a community meeting that will be held whereby residents will be briefed on the way forward by both the local leadership as well as the provincial government. That we expect to happen on Monday.
Tumaole, I mean, this is one of those situations where some people will have lost so much, some people maybe not so much. Are you worried that maybe there could be divisions in that community? Different people will actually want different things. That makes it even harder for authorities to know what to do.
Well, Stephen, as far as divisions in the community go, I certainly felt that there were certain fault lines in terms of the expectation and in terms of what the community itself wants. Many of the residents are saying that the blanket approach is not good enough for them, and that they feel that they have to speak for themselves, and each case should be adjudicated individually. But, of course, there's also divisions in the community in terms of what has been done by the mine, because many of those who were in what would be called ground zero, or right in the path of the sludge that came tumbling down, if one can say that, or roaring down after the dam collapse. It's basically a community that's saying that they've been benefiting from the mine itself, and their property would be property that has been gained because they are employees of the mine. In terms of relocation as well, there are divisions because they are saying that the area that they're going to be taken to, they're concerned about how they're going to reach their point of employment, which is, of course, the mine. The mine plays a very central role in the economy of Jagersfontein and in the economy of the broader area, because many people travel to work. So they are concerned about what prospects there will be in this new area that's been earmarked, both in terms of how their children and families will commute to their places of employment, i.e. the mine, and also schools, but whether this process will be managed properly. So there are those kind of concerns that are creeping in, and this is why the community finds itself speaking in different voices depending on who you speak to. But they did speak in one voice when they marched on the mine to say that they expect that the undertakings that have been given in terms of the mine compensating residents must be given in writing. Many residents saying that they weren't appraised properly about the process, so they want to be taken step by step, and they want everything to be in writing so as that there is proof of what is being said to be delivered.
Mohlaoli, thank you very much indeed.